Right. How do I make this thing? I'm gonna have to go out and get more stuff now, aren't I? Okay, campfire cooking kit. Wire, pipe. I think I might be low on pipe. Pipe is the one thing you can't craft, and I've used it all. So I'm going to need to go back out and get pipes. All that wandering around I did, leaving stuff behind, and I need it. Absolutely typical. So how much is that what I need for the campfire? Sticks and rope. Easy. And I should still have some sticks left in here. No, I'm out of sticks as well. All of these things I had, and I don't have any of them left. Christ, right, what's the next thing? The tent requires sticks and rope again. I might need to get more rope as well. So I need sticks and rope. How do I make the wormwood brew? I guess maybe that's now unlocked. Oh, just 3 wormwood brew. Okay. I should have that. I have 2. Christ. Fuck me. All of... Just low on everything. Okay, so. I need 1 wormwood. I need sticks and rope. And steel pipe. Sticks, rope, steel pipe. Okay. You know, considering the number of things I need, I think I'm going to be better off running back this way. Because I know that I've not looted all the ones around here. So I'll just head in that direction. Okay, well the adventure's not quite over. I thought we were going to be calling it for today, but it's looking like there is an end point to this game. And it is close. I just need more supplies. Because I used all of my supplies to do everything at the start of this recording. That still annoys me that it hasn't given me some of the achievements that I definitely should have. Survive for 15 days, yes. Find every flora type, yes. Sleep for 1 night in a tent, yes. Sleep for 5 nights in a tent. It said it gave me, but it's not unlocked. Visit all exploration areas, yes. Harvest a turnip, yes. I don't know why it's just not working. If it's not going to work, then I'm not going to worry about finishing it. Fuck it. The game's fault. Right. Time to start collecting. I don't need wire. It's the one thing I don't need. A pipe I need, though. Don't need wire. I'm going to carry it anyway. I've got space. Don't need rags. I don't think I needed nails either, did I? Don't need wire or nails. Where was the next loot site? The water thing. Cooler. Whatever it's called. I'm glad that my final day here is a nice rainy day. Get to listen to the sound of the pouring rain. Okay, so we're going to head all the way back to the house now, and I'm going to grab sticks along the way, because sticks was something I needed a fair few of. And hopefully I'll have enough to make everything. Like, considering that usually when I'm looking for sticks they're everywhere, now that I actually want them I can't see a single one. Which is just typical. Right, you know what? Let's go back to the house. Let's see what we can do with what we just got. I also needed that fucking plant. I didn't get that, did I? Right. Campfire. Craft. Okay, so that's one of them needed. Cooking campfire kit. Craft. Perfect. Tent. I need 3 more sticks for a tent. So did my character... I think the plot of this is like, oh, you know, get away from your life and live in the woods for a bit. So he came into the woods with no supplies, because he had no... There's sticks under here. He had no food or drink or anything when I started. He had nowhere to stay, just a ruin of a house that didn't even belong to him. As far as we're aware. I think he just walked up and built a random house. He also didn't bring an emergency kit or anything to leave with. Like, I'm currently crafting something for him to leave. The only thing I need now is the wormwood brew. Which means I need 1 bit of wormwood. Don't know where you get the wormwood though. Literally the only thing I need now is 1 wormwood root. I don't know how rare wormwood root is. I'm pretty sure I have seen it around. I've never really thought about it because it was always a brewing ingredient. It's all I need. Only thing I need now. One bloody wormwood root. Oh, this is gonna feel frustrating if it takes me a while to find this now. After everything we've been through, 4 hours streaming, multiple times, and I've been about to quit and just made a little bit of progress, and then the game says, Brad, there's an ending. You can actually reach the end of this by just finishing these last few things. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'll stay on. I guess I'll finish it. And now I'm just wandering around looking for one item that I need to finish it. The number of times I've wandered past this item and not collected it because I've been completely unaware that it would end up being the one thing I need to finish the entire game. It's like searching for that last mushroom all over again. This is the point where it just stops being fun. And now it's just a tedious chore to just end it. Because I've done everything. And I just need one thing and I can leave. And it's just a case of like being lucky enough to find this one thing. At least you're still here. Who's a good boy? I'll break from the running round. Oh, I'm all the way to the ocean. I can't believe I've basically just ran around the entire map. Again. That's a fiddlehead fern. That's like a black currant, maybe. Oh, wormwood root! Oh, there you are. Give. Right, time to head home. Maybe that's the point of the game. Is to get it so, like, to wind you up and to get the woods and the experience to be so irritating that you want to go home. Because I'm currently building a kit to leave. So I'm obviously done. Like, my character is done with living in the woods. And I bet you it's because of all these little reasons I've been bringing up all the way through. Because I've been playing the game, but he's been living it. His character knows the pain. I'm being overly harsh. I have enjoyed it. I wouldn't have played it this long if I hadn't. Considering that I played it on stream a couple of days ago, then after the stream finished, I played it for another 2 or 3 hours, just collecting things, so that when I started the next stream, I could just burn through everything. Before the stream today, I spent like an hour or so collecting the last bits and pieces. Then after that, I've now been streaming for 4 hours. So clearly, I'm enjoying the game. And I see what it's trying to do. I understand what it wants to do. And it does achieve what it's trying to do in a few places. And in some ways. And I would say overall, there's nothing particularly wrong with it. Like, it's not like a bad game. But there's a lot of teething issues with it. There's just a lot of small things that have built up to just give me a bit of a frustrating experience. And you get these in all survival games. There's little things that get a little bit annoying. But you obviously just learn to deal with it. Like, that's just the nature of survival games, is that you have to, a lot of the time you have to battle against the mechanics. But I think the problems I have with this one, and obviously the problems I've been saying, that's a wall. Problems that I've been saying all the way through, is that they're all little things that I feel like could have been fixed with a little bit of extra playtesting and having some feedback from the players. It's all the way down to the super basic stuff, like whenever you use an axe and then pick up an item, it puts the axe away. It's stuff like that that's really minimal, but it just adds to that sense as you're playing through it that things aren't quite like working completely correctly. And what we're saying about the scaling in the game, the way that the progression works, it just has a bit of a... It just doesn't feel like smooth. It feels quite jagged. Because the progression is all about find all the locations, upgrade your entire house, and find all of the things. But then the problem is that upgrading your house, like the later upgrades to the house are beneficial, are supposed to be very beneficial. Like, for example, being able to get the clothes to make you run faster and hold more things. That's good. Obviously, there maybe should be more of them and they should stack up a bit more. But things like the potions and like this greenhouse is useless in terms of gameplay. Like, maybe it's useful in terms of the aesthetic of the game and the overall like experience, but the actual greenhouse in terms of gameplay is absolutely useless. Because you put seeds in, and then you have to water those seeds once a day. And it takes 2 days to grow, and you get, at least in this case, you get 3 crops, and this one, you get 4 crops. So, 4 crops, 2 days' work. I can walk out of this building, walk around the house in like a big circle, and get more food than you get in here. And that's going to take me less than half of the day, even like a quarter of the day. And so the greenhouse is pointless. The brewing room, the only one I've got any use out of is this one. And even then, the fox can't even keep up. But all of these other ones, like, it unlocks these two at the same time. So you get this and this. This one here, the Solidago, I found less of this than Bishop's Brew. So why would you ever make this one? When this one gives you more stamina, gives you stamina for more time. And it's easier to find. Like, maybe these ones, like I definitely found more rose hips and thistle, that's fine. Fiddlehead, wormwood. The wormwood one's obviously there for the completion of the game. And there's a decent amount of fiddleheads, but you don't need any of these. You don't need any of these in the actual game, because by the time you unlock this room, by the time you actually get into it, you've got down the game mechanics down, and you're not going to need to warm yourself up. Like, increase your body temperature for 2 minutes, sure, but you can just get a stack of those chanterelle, whatever they call mushrooms, the gold mushrooms, and they put your health up, like, they put your temperature up, sorry. So you just get a stack of them, and it does the same thing. And, like, staying awake, you just get a 10, you just sleep. It feels like these should have been unlocked a lot earlier. Maybe that's me. Maybe I was meant to focus on the rooms first. Maybe the objective was build the house, then explore. But I obviously I did it gradually and I was doing bits and pieces. Right, anyway, I'm meant to be finishing up, aren't I? So let's brew this. So once I've brewed this, I can make my backpack. Done. Well, I got the achievement for that one. Craft. Return to society. End game. Right. Okay, well let's sleep the night. No one wants to set off during the day. Day 37. So, I could have stayed on longer and reached day 50 for the achievement. But clearly the achievements in my version are bugged. Because very few of them are even showing up. Survive 15 days didn't work. Every flora didn't work. Wormwood Brew popped up, but hasn't updated on the actual thing. Sleep in the tents, but neither on there. Exploration wasn't there. The turnip wasn't there. Like, I'm missing most of the achievements, so I'm not going to bother with the achievements. What I'm going to do is just end the game. Because I've definitely gotten enough out of this. I think I've got as much out of this as I possibly can. I could build more, sort of decorate my house a bit more. Like, that's a possibility. I could explore every single inch of the map, but I don't think I'm going to benefit from uncovering all of these areas because I found everything of use in them. So I'm going to say goodbye to my fox. It's a shame you can't take the fox. Like, you go and live in the woods and you befriend a little fox and then you're going to leave it. And it's hungry and it's... Poor thing. You know what? Follow me. In my headcanon, the fox is coming with me. So, come on, Merlin. Let's say goodbye to this shack that we've apparently built single-handedly in the woods while we're taking a break from our normal lives. You know, this is ruining my view. There we go. We had a good time here. We had a good time. What about the Northern Perch Pike? I don't care. If I can't get all the achievements, there's no point in getting some of them. Okay. Well, Merlin. Shall we get going? Gonna go the long walk back to civilization, but don't worry. I'm gonna catch you some fish on the way. We're gonna have a good time. Let's go. Every adventure must come to an end. After climbing the mountain, one must always descend, and you must return to society. There are people waiting for you, and as you begin the hard journey home, you imagine the things you will tell them. How you stepped away from modern life. How you made yourself a part of the wild. How you lived, for a while, among trees. No credits? It's just silent now, it's weird. I have to get the menu music started. Which means my sound suppression, like my noise gate on this thing is going to be weird. Right, well, I think I've summed up my views quite a lot during the actual game, but I think I'm just going to do I always do a little summary when I finish playing a game. So let's bring back big Brad screen up. So, the game is good. Decent game. I enjoyed it. I definitely got my money's worth after the frustration of the lack of the autosave thing, like which I'm gonna pin on myself. Like it's my fault it's my fault for assuming, but it adds to just the list of these little issues I have. But in terms of the actual like positives of the game, it was a nice little self-contained experience, and I did enjoy what it was going for. The idea that it's like, you know, it's not about surviving like the threats. It's not about struggling against the elements, really. It's more just about keeping yourself up while you have a look around. And I reckon that this kind of game, if it was expanded upon and turned into like, you know, maybe one where you can actually build your own building, like a proper crafting game, rather than just adding extensions to a house, like it could be a really fulfilling experience to have this big map with all of these interesting POIs, and not just, you know, a meadow with some flowers in, like actually individually constructed POIs that had all of these interesting materials and things in, and maybe you could like get collectibles and hang them up in your house to show that you've been there, like that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that this kind of idea of just a really chill exploration game that's literally just about, well, let's find all of these things. It's like a collectibles game. Like, I think that's a great idea, and I think that it's like a really good start into that sort of genre, that aspect of these kind of survival experiences. But there's so many little issues, and the little issues, like I found myself complaining a lot, obviously, because you've just watched the playthrough. I found myself complaining a lot about little things in the game, that just these little quality of life issues that feels that they're so inconsequential. If you found one or two of them in a game, you would be like, okay, Like, you just get past it. But when you just keep hitting them step by step by step by step, and a lot of them feel like they're intentionally made to pad out the runtime of the game by making things more difficult. So stack sizes in your inventory, nothing wrong with that. But one of the really irritating things is that Dogsbane can be carried in stacks of 7, but when you find them in the wilderness, there's 8 of them. There's usually 8 in a little cluster. That is intentional game design to make you take up an extra single slot. Whereas if they just set it to 8, or if they just set it to 10, then you would have been able to carry the full stack and not lost an extra inventory slot. And in a game where inventory management, inventory space is so scarce, that is one of those things that just adds to the irritation of it. Because the whole game is about wandering out, picking stuff up and coming home, wandering out, picking stuff up and coming home, wandering out, picking stuff up and coming home. And you need a lot of carry space for that. Particularly if it's going to force you to have multiple stacks of things. Like 10 planks per stack, I guess I can get that, because planks are heavy. But 10 sticks? Not 20 sticks. Because 20 sticks then would have been better, because then like 10 planks equals 20 sticks. And a lot of the plants all stacked up to like 15 or something, but then some would stack up to 5. And packets of seeds, or even just... Because like they're not even packets of seeds, because when you grow the plant and you get the seeds afterwards, you just get a handful of seeds. Handful of seeds can't stack more than 1, but planks can stack up to 10. It's like those little things. But I've done this all the way through the game. I've talked about the things that were irritating me about it. So I'm not going to continue. I think I've got that out. But what I will say is, overall, I did enjoy it. And I know there's a lot of bad reviews or mixed reviews on Steam. So I remember looking through some of them after the first issue I had with the autosave. I looked through, and that was when someone was like, "Oh, there's a fox," and I was like, "Oh, I get a fox." The fox, by the way, best part of the game, hands down. Yeah, there's a lot of reviews that weren't particularly favourable, but I think it's fine. Like, it's a good game. I enjoyed it. If all those little issues were ironed out, it would have been a great game. But yeah, you can't get everything. But no. So that's the end of Among Trees. I don't think I'll come back to this, because like I'm not even going to achievement hunt, because none of them work. Well, very few of them work. Like, have any of them even updated yet? No. Maybe when I reboot the game, some of them will update, but I just don't understand how, like, something as simple as survive for 15 days isn't there, because I clearly did. Like, I went to like day 37. So yeah, I don't know what I'll play next. But if you watch this on YouTube, then let me know what you thought of the game, and I mean, play it. Have a go. It's alright. And yeah, subscribe, all that stuff. How would you rate the game out of 10? What was something that really stood out to you that you liked? I'd say out of 10, I'd go for maybe a 6 or 7. Probably closer to a 6. I'd say, like, because in my opinion, like, it's 6 is obviously going to be a positive score, but it's not like one of my favourite games. There's a lot of stuff I had issues with it. In terms of things that stood out that I liked, like I said, the lack of conflict and the lack of combat. I really enjoyed, you know, have another one. Oh, I can't feed it 'cause it's not hungry. What are you doing? Looks like it's dead. Poor thing. Here you go, just sit there. Stay. Good fox. Yeah, I really like the fact the game, like, the focus of the game isn't on getting like beaten up or dying to stuff. Like, it's not that difficult to stay alive. they wanted you to pay more attention to the atmosphere and to the collecting aspect. The only real threat was the bear. Obviously the bees and other stuff as well, but the bear was the main threat. And even then, it was quite easy to creep around the bear. You know, when your stream chat aren't making you walk into it. This fishing minigame is awful, by the way. You happy now? I caught the northern pike perch, just like you kept pestering me to. Happy? You wanna know what's annoying? I didn't even get the achievement. Didn't even get the achievement. I do wish that there was more to the whole game as well, because the atmosphere is really nice. It's a really pleasant game, really relaxing, really peaceful. Like particularly this kind of thing. Like just what just happened then. Awful torrential rain outside. I open the door, run in from the rain. The sound switches from the outside rain to this nice like pitter patter of inside rain, and then the fox comes through the little fox flap and goes to sleep next to the bed. I mean, it would be nicer if the fox slept on the foot of the bed, because this is just mean, because, you know, it's in the way. Right.